What in the hells? I never knew any of this was here.
Well, it certainly is, Astarion. Hello, everybody. They call me Muse, and I welcome you back to Baldur's Gate 3, where we are lurking in a dungeon underneath Cazador Sar's palace? Mansion? Something. It's his place. His crib, if you will. Let's have a stroll about. I think we can open that with our signet ring. Also, before I forget, I decided I was going to swap to the other hammer. The one that ignores bludgeoning resistance. I feel like that's probably a superior weapon. Now, is this just a case of stick a ring in it and you can advance?
Just like the door to the ballroom upstairs, this door features no keyhole, but does have an indentation for a signet ring.
It's also very noisy for a door.
The ring slots perfectly into place, and the door opens, assailing you with pungent, musty air.
Wonderful. So that gives us access to the skull of Velioth. Much else going on? A few posh elixirs and whatnot. That's well and good. Astarion, would you like to have a look at Velioth while I deal with these growling cats?
Below rests a skull with a scroll clamped in its bony jaws.
Behave you.
The skull's empty eye sockets flare with an eldritch gleam. You feel invited somehow to witness the skull's memories. It seems urgent.
Well, let's give it a go.
This skull is all that remains of the vampire Velioth. He turned Cazador, gave him the gift, and then taught him the rules of vampiric existence.
What's the first rule?
Velioth's first lesson is always to dominate. Allow none to be your equal. Velioth recalls when Cazador reached out to a former friend. His punishment was to watch as Velioth drained his friend dry.
And the second rule? We don't know. Or do we? We've only got one inspiration. Do we care?
You are distracted by an errant thought and lose the thread of Velioth's lesson. Velioth recalls when Cazador rebelled against him. Cazador suffered 11 years of impalement because he failed.
Okay, so maybe the second rule was succeed if you're going to try and betray someone. The third lesson?
Velioth's third lesson is to act not in haste. A near immortal has time to plan, time to act only when others will pay the price of action. Velioth recalls Cazador, his lessons learned, killing him in the rite of perfect slaughter. How they both laughed. Velioth recalls Cazador boiling the flesh from his skull, and then, to mock him, clamping his schooling scroll in Velioth's jaws. The skull's eyes flash a final time, and its jaws sag open. The scroll with all of Cazador's rituals is yours. Velioth is no more.
Even his precious rules.
Okay, we've got a black math scroll. Which we don't need, do we, Astarion? No, we don't. Okay, we've got another door open.
Approaching the cells, you're met with hollow-eyed faces. There's an almost physical stink of decay and neglect.
These poor people.
Ugh, disgusting. Cazador never fed on wretches like this. But who knows? Maybe the old man's tastes have changed since I left.
You. I know you. You're the one from the tavern. You smiled and joked and got me drunk.
No. You're dead.
You called me so many sweet things. My name sounded like a lyric on your tongue.
Sebastian,
You remember me.
you were handsome. Shy. You'd never been kissed.
You taught me how. And then you destroyed me.
It can't be.
Is this how all of your lovers end up?
Don't. Not now. I know so many of these faces. They're my conquests. I pursued them, seduced them, and brought them to Cazador. He told us he was feeding on them, but he turned them to spawn. He turned every last one, so we'd have souls for this cursed ritual.
How long?
What?
How long have I been down here?
We'll set you free.
Free. I'll never be free. I can't even die. This nightmare never ends, and it's your fault. You did this, damn you! I damn you to the hells! I damn you to misery! I damn you!
That could have gone better. He's been cursed. He's got a disadvantage on all saving throws. Ew.
Gods above. He kept Sebastian. I feel ill. All the fools and villains who ever fell for my ploys, they're here.
If what you've told me is true, that's a colossal sum of souls.
But why? Why does he need them alive? What possible use could they have in this ruined state?
I have a horrible feeling about this.
All the blood he demanded. I thought he was gorging himself on... He never could have finished half of it. He never let us drink. He never wanted us to know. I had no idea there was worse than drainage and death in his hand. I couldn't imagine. We must find Cazador. This must end.
That's the spirit. And end it shall. With a big old punch-up. Now, nobody who's on the team right now has the daylight spell at their disposal. That's a bad thing. I kind of hoped we'd have daylight available to us. I thought we'd have a scroll of it or something of that nature, but it seems that we don't. Should I have brought a different team down here? Maybe. Is it too late to change? It's not. We can run back up. We can go out of the place again. I can't even check who on my team might have daylight. Maybe one of the druids does. It's kind of useful when you fight vampires. Maybe Shadi's got the spell. Maybe Jaheira's got the spell. Probably not Jaheira, because she's a wild shaper, isn't she? Let's try Shadi. She can level up as well, which is nice. And she can learn daylight. Good. So what were we doing with her? Were we giving her a 3rd level of cleric? That doesn't really give her that much, whereas if we give her a 10th level of druid, she can't be charmed or frightened by elementals and fey. Disease and poison no longer affect her. Yeah, we'll give her an extra level of cleric, I think. Daylight lasts until long rest, so it's not even a concentration spell. That's good. Plant growth is also not a concentration spell, which is nice. But it does conflict with Sleet Storm because they're both ground-based spells. You can have a ground-based spell and an air-based spell, though, at the same time. So you can have, like, Cloud Kill on top of either a Sleet Storm or a Plant Growth. Freedom of movement can snap people out of stuns. That could be useful. I wonder where that drumming was coming from. Old Minsk was having a bit of a tap. Good for him. So I think now we are ready. Let's just double check that I did prepare daylight. Good. Be very silly if I forgot that. Okay, we're ready to go. We could speak to the children as well, but Astarion's depressed enough as it is. So what we're going to do is move everyone into here. And then we're going to split Astarion off from the party. And we're going to go on without him. Because we should be able to fight Cazador without his ritual being active if he thinks Astarion's not with us. And then Astarion can come in once we've beaten the big bad.
Now, this is unexpected. You who follow on the heels of our poor lost son. Has he sent you here to parley on his behalf, hmm? Will he not even speak to his own family?
Cool, so there is different dialogue for this, as I assume there would be. I've just never done it before. You're not his family, you're a monster.
What is family if not the monsters we are obliged to love, hmm?
Fair point.
That is why he will come back to me, because he yearns to be with his people, because this is all he knows. Oh, you have been an interesting distraction for him, no doubt, but your time together is over. When you don't return, he will realize he has nowhere else to go. He will come to me, and he will be mine.
I won't let you use me as bait.
Please, did Astarion tell you nothing about me? I am the immortal Cazador Tsar, and I always get what I want.
So it's on. Call lightning. We've got no counter spells, which is sad. But 27 damage, we can live with that. And he's using his Misty Escape. Shadowheart. Do your thing. Daylight Sphere. You can cover a big old area with it. Blam! Take that, Cazador. You are now much more beatable. You've still got resistances, perhaps. But that's fine, we've got Foebreaker. Now, Arcane Vampirism, Arcane Enchantment. Don't really have any legendary stuff available. Is that because we haven't got the ritual on the go? That would be cool. We can live with that. Shadowheart can't really do much with a bonus action. She's not that kind of girl. Maybe she just chills for a minute. Karlach, she can do stuff. Bland. Although, Mo should get in there as well, and then they can sneak attack double team the guy. 60% chance. 85%, that's better. Ugh. Nonetheless. There we go. Oh, he's concentrating on Call Lightning, isn't he? Yeah. That's sad times. Sneak attack? Piss. Why is he so good at surviving our attacks? The dastard. Should probably put Hunter's Mark on him. Should have probably done that first. No, we've got a bunch of undead as such. They're going to come running in to cause trouble for everyone. And the bats. The bats are fine, because if they go for Karlach, they'll just kill themselves, probably. Although they will slow the fight down a bit. But so be it. The plan is pretty simple. Beat up Cazador, then bring in Astarion and beat up everyone else. I'm not terribly worried about the threat from the werewolves and such. I bite sleep. Don't put people to sleep. You horrible bugger. Chatterteeth. Concentration broken. He's done a blight. Potentially healed himself a bit. All sorts of opportunity attacks await if we try and escape. Hadn't considered that. If we fly? That also might trigger some opportunity attacks. Maybe it's worth it. Because yeah, a lot of the buggers are just going to miss. Because she's got a cloak of displacement and whatnot. So over she goes. Can't use actions. Okay, she's now nauseous because she flew through the cloud, I guess. It's a poison condition, and she hasn't been hit with Hero's Feast yet. Pisk. Should have thought about that, shouldn't I? Can't really do a lot then, can she?
Where do I go from here?
As for Mo... yeah, we'll also eat a few, except we actually did eat a few opportunity attacks. That's horrible. Kind of thought Mo would survive more than that. But that was decent damage at least. Does she also want to sup a potion while she's got the chance? Why not? And then Shadow Heart. We could perhaps use an Ice Storm. We could also potentially get like summons on the go. But I think an Ice Storm putting everyone on their butts could be funny. Bunch of them are mentally fatigued, so that's great. Maybe if we move over this side? I'd like it if a lot of these buggers could fall on their butts. Like that. Okay, that one's jumped. Have a bit of that. Get reverberated. Someone else fell over, that's good. We'll just keep backlashing this guy and it might eventually just kill him. He's taken some more radiant damage, it seems. He's just shoved one of his own wolves. Now, Karlach. Whoosh. Nice. Mo. Also whoosh, please. You're immune to prone. Hiss. Not happy with all these shots missing. Also, why haven't I raged yet? Should have done that a while ago. Sneak attack. Good. Immune to piercing damage. Doesn't look very immune. So that works out okay. Should we just drop another Ice Storm? Because I would like to kill Cazador ASAP. But if we can take out the others with Shadowheart, because AoE is her thing. Okay, we did kind of ping Mo slightly. Unfortunate. But she can get a temporary HP. It's not the end of the world. And then I think Shaddy can just sort of stand still now. She could sanctuary herself. Does she need to though? See if this lot want to do a bit more slippy slide. Yep, brilliant. Idiots. Even the werewolves are falling on their butts. Somewhat. Okay, that one's doing alright for themselves. Yeah, the werewolves are almost dead, which is great. Brilliant. Even that moron fell over. And now more bats come in, because that's just what they do. Another 20 damage. Plus sneak attacks and booming blades and whatnot. He's not happy. He's also largely missing his attacks, which is great. Have a bit of this. One of these. Mo? Can you give him a big bonk? Off! Good lord. That's what I'm talking about. And then we'll bash that bugger as well. And we could bash another bugger, couldn't we? Because we got a bonus action bash. Sweet. Astarion, would you like to come and join the punch-up? Yeah, you would. Looks like you don't get an action this turn. You don't get to move either, which is sad times. These cats are all kicking off again because they're all awful wretches. But if you've got 12 cats, sometimes you have to deal with them being terrible buggers. It's just how it is. Now, what are you going to do? Shaddy. There's options. A lot of those Gur are still alive. How far does a lightning bolt reach? It can hit a few of them. Cool. You wiped out a bunch of stuff. You didn't do a huge amount of damage to the Gur, perhaps, but you wiped out a bunch of stuff. I don't think you're strong enough to really push that werewolf anywhere. Now this lot are going to be able to attack because there's no more ice. But they're also not terribly fast. That bugger's still alive as well. So what are you going to do, Chatterteeth? Get backlashed to death? Wonderful. Now, Karlach, you are not immune to nauseous, so be a dear and ping that bugger. And then which of these Gur is the weakest? That one. Sweet. Blimey. Might bash that one in. Good and proper. Possibly she could just do that. The fight's over. Let's go and deal with Cazador. Don't think we're that worried about the stinking cloud at this point. Astarion, lead the way, would you? Oop, his clothes fell off.
No healing soup for you. Wake up!
Get your hands off me, worm!
I'm not the one in the dirt. One last thrust, and I'll be free of you. I'll never have to fear you again. But if I finish the ritual you started, I'll never have to fear anyone. Ever.
You think me a fool? That I would allow anyone to usurp me, speak the words, and ascend in my place? The runes I carved into your flesh bind you and all 7,000 souls to the ritual. Complete it, and those bearing the scars will be sacrificed, you included. You are simply a means to an end. I made you to be consumed.
I am so much more than what you made me. Get over here. We can do this.
You can't finish the ritual, Astarion. You'll kill all these people.
If we release them, how many people will they kill? Tens of thousands? Hundreds of thousands? But if I complete the ritual, think of the power I'll have. With me by your side, we can save the city. We can save ourselves.
I want you to live a life you're proud of. You can't be proud of this. That's a bad roll. Two inspirations though, because we gained one during the fight. Oh, I could have put guidance on. Probably don't need it. Look at that. It's a good roll.
You're right. I can be better than them. But I'm not above enjoying this.
That's the good stuff right there. A good old revenge stabbing. It's okay, Astarion.
Is it over? Is he...
Yes. He's gone.
What does that mean for us?
It means you have a choice. You can hide here, living in the shadows like parasites. Or you could be more than what he made us to be. You can choose differently, of course. But the consequences are on your head.
And what does it mean for them?
Now that is a question.
Cazador's staff controlled everything during the ritual. If it controls the cells too, you could decide their fate.
Let's release them. They deserve the same chance you got.
Some sacrifices just aren't worth it.
The poor wretches in the cells are innocent. They shouldn't have to suffer just because I lured them here.
Seems a bit elaborate for opening some doors. Off you go, friends. Be good.
They'll need someone to lead them. Take the tunnels into the Underdark. Find somewhere, well, not safe, but less perilous.
What? No, we can't.
Just try to keep them out of trouble. I think we're done here. Let's go.
Excellent. Let's loot some people. We've received Woe. And now we've got the Rhapsody Dagger. And another copy of the Family Ring that I don't think we need. I guess that's if we snuck in some other way, perhaps. It's to avoid us getting locked in here when we shouldn't be.
That's it. He's gone. After all these years, these centuries. It's really over.
How does it feel?
I'm not sure. I feel a little numb. What I've lost. What I've gained. It's all so much. And God, all those spawn. Free in the Underdark. I need some time, I think. Just to let it all sink in. Let's just go. This place reeks of death, and I want to feel alive again.
Very well. Off we go. Now, where did Chat Teeth end up? Did you have any loot for us? No, just a stick. Okay. I've thought about it, and Astarion does actually have one more fight that he wants to do with us. So we're going to do that as our next goal, I think. But first of all, we'll leave this crypt.
You killed one vampire, but released 7,000 of his spawn. Have you lost all sense?
They were innocents. To kill them would have been an even greater crime.
And our children? What of their fate?
Cazador turned everyone we brought him into spawn. I can only assume your children were somewhere in those wretched cells. You'll find them in the Underdark, although you may not like what you find.
This is difficult news. We will need to decide what it means. Thank you for what you have done. Slaying Cazador was a great justice. As for the rest, well, time will tell.
Yeah, sorry about everything, I guess. But there we go. Back to camp, perhaps. Astarion does want to rest. Doesn't have much to add at this point, though. So let's pop off a short rest.
Time to get going.
And let's just check in with Danton. I'm not sure if I've used his level 6 spell slot since we last rested. Ah yes, Danton does have a level 6 spell slot available. So, here is Feast. Nauseous is a thing of the past for you, Karlach.
Astarion showed restraint where most others wouldn't. He might not appreciate the sentiment, but I'm proud of him.
And this is the first time we've used Will since we hit level 12. First time we've used him since we hit level 11, it seems. So he's picked up Aura of Courage. Allies can't be frightened whilst he's nearby. And now he gets improved Divine Smite. Melee weapon attacks will deal an additional 1 to 8 radiant damage. Wonderful. What smites have we got that he could pop on? He's got elemental weapon. Ah, Will's got daylight, so we could have brought him along for that fight after all. All of his smite spells are already on. Elemental weapon. Your weapon receives a bonus to attack rolls and deals an additional 1d4 of your choice. That's better than nothing. So we'll pop that on. And we've got a fairly martial team right now. They haven't got a lot in the way of magical attacks. But that's fine. We want to make our way sooner rather than later to where we can deal with the Iron Throne and all that, because we want to deal with the Steel Watchers before long. But we also want to be in here for now. I'm not certain if Steel Watchers in general are going to attack us on sight, just because Gortash is now hostile. That's why that's a priority. But we're going to deal with this first.
Lower your voice, madam.
How many times do I need to say it? You sent word about a lead, said that I should come see you about it.
Of course, madam. Let me just... Forgive me, why are you here?
joke. Do you have any idea what I've been through these past few days?
What's going on here?
My daughter Vanra, my little girl, she's missing. This stupid, useless fist said she had a lead, but she must have been stuck in Dream Mist or something.
Madam, tell me. You said she was taken from a tavern?
Yes, the Blushing Mermaid, down by the docks. I told you 100 times. Why aren't you listening?
I'm listening. Tell me what happened.
Excuse me, citizen, but if this is a criminal matter, it's my business, not yours. Now, madam, if you'll just tell me why you're here, I'll take down the details.
What is happening? I feel like I'm going mad.
Look, I will help you find your daughter. Forget the fist.
You will? Thank you. I haven't slept or eaten since she disappeared. I'm terrified something has happened to her. Her name is Vanra. She's 7 years old and has red hair, like me. We were in the Blushing Mermaid when she was taken. Just up by the docks.
I will head to the Blushing Mermaid now.
Thank you. I'll head home. Can't stand being around these idiots any longer. Come find me the moment you hear anything.
Yeah, it's occurred to me we do have an extra honor mode fight in Act 3 to deal with. So we're going to work on that if we can. We just need to remember where exactly we can find the room full of hag survivors. Okay, it seems like the Steel Watch aren't killing us on sight. So maybe we don't need to deal with Gortash right away. No, what if we fly up here? We want to invade this house, you see. There's a sheep and Connor Vinderblad. We know Connor. The sheep just said woof. And that voodoo doll just said It's alright, take your time.
Doll! Find the doll!
Okie doke, we'll find the doll. We've already found the doll.
Strange looking doll.
Leave our leader, the one who saved us, behind. No.
Okay, the doll has moved, perhaps? We can still hear chuckling. It's over there, perhaps, now. There we go.
It was the Dragonborn. The Dragonborn.
You removed my hex. That's annoying. I wanted to play a little longer. Auntie likes her toys broken. She's not going to be happy I had to get my hands dirty.
Tell me who you are, now.
I don't matter. Only Auntie does. They want to hurt Auntie. They have the book. I will die before I let anyone touch a hair on her head.
Well, I'm sorry that you lived the slave of such evil.
Please. Auntie has gifted me idiots twice your size to feast on. You are a mere appetizer.
It's a bit rude. Also, we are pretty big. So, they must have been big people. Now, Will is closest. We should have done a Hero's Feast on Will at some point as well. He's lacking a lot of the buffs that our party enjoy. You could do a big bounce over there. And that would just about allow him enough movement to get in there. And smack that bugger for quite a lot of damage. Booming Blade does quite a bit more. Wonderful. What's Will's charisma? It's only 18. Mo. can do a big bounce as well. No. 55%. This guy's got good defense. He's dead though.
Treacherous prick.
Now, is anybody going to tell me what the hell's going on? Okay, Connor's not going to tell me. Kind of understandable. Ethel's lair key. So we know from the key that we're dealing with Auntie Ethel here, but otherwise we've just got a note that refers to Auntie. So Marina, please explain.
That lying, thieving, scaly little shit! Thanks for knifing the bastard. That makes twice you've saved me. I'm starting to think you're my guardian angel.
You made an adorable sheep, Marina.
Thanks. But my mouth tastes like mutton, and I'm itching in hard to reach places. I'm gonna make the witch that did this pay, and I have the means to do it. This group is made of survivors. People like me who've been hurt by hags. I brought them together to fight back. We tracked a hag to the city, but lost her trail. Right after she snatched a little girl.
Any leads on the missing girl?
None. Her mother has no idea of what she's up against. Poor woman thinks the Fist will be able to help her. The moment I started investigating the missing girl, I felt the hag's eye on me. Next thing I was sprouting wool and bleating up a storm.
Wait a minute, is this Laura? She told us her daughter disappeared in the Blushing Mermaid.
That's her! And she vanished in the maid. That sounds like a lead. We'll do what we can to find the girl, but our chances are a lot higher with you on our side. Check the safe in the back. I've done my homework on hags since we last tangled with Ethel. Take whatever you need. I know it by heart anyway.
Sweet. So we've got the Staff of Interruption. And we've got access to this safe. A Hunter's Guide to Hags, a tear-stained journal, and ashes of dried Fayflower.
Alright.
So we can make some Hagbane. It's a grenade, isn't it? There we go. Hagsbane. And now we're ready to go and deal with Auntie Ethel yet again. Although again, at this point we don't know for sure that it's Ethel. We just know it's a hag.
Welcome to the Blushing Mermaid.
The Blushing Mermaid,
and they will be followed.
15-year-old Will snuck his first kiss.
You didn't kiss anyone until you were 15. God, what a tragic, sheltered life.
Sheltered? Not at all. I was exposed to all manner of riot and revelry. Hells, my father even urged me on once or twice.
I swear, all of this for
But I've always been a bit old-fashioned on these matters. I find more pleasure in a courtly dance than a loveless fling.
Fair enough. Couldn't be more different, Astarion and Will. Now. Captain Grizzly.
Is on fire. Shove off.
What you got to say for yourself?
Just leave me to...
You're a hag.
Oh, bloody hangover.
Well, we know how to deal with hags. Where's Hagsbane got to? It's presumably somewhere in our inventory. There we go. Throw.
Then the bosun would be grumpy.
Hello, hag.
What did you... Stay down, Vanra! No!
That's it. Cough her up, hag.
No! Stay down!
Everyone hated that.
You cost me a fresh, young hag! I'm going to paint the wall with your guts, you little shit stain!
I assume that she's got the same abilities as Act 1 Ethel, which is why we've not brought Gale along. We don't want to spawn a whole bunch of mini Ethels if we can avoid it. Oh, and she's also got magic that affects the camera in this place and makes it a pain in the ass to do anything. That bugger's almost down. Mo, which one do you want to go and beat up? That one's close. I've got loads of HP for level 4 characters. Oh, I suppose I could put 65%, 90%. Yeah, I'm still better off without all in on quite a lot of the time. Some reasonable damage from Will, nothing spectacular. And then Astarion. Can you get in there and fisticuff this one? Blau. Would you like to pop over here and finish off the weasel? Sweet. Do you have enough movement left to get in and smack that bugger? No. But you could jump. And now you could smack them. Nice. What are you lot gonna do?
Bleed. Cut you. Make all the holes. Blood. Blood.
That's reasonable damage. But that's pretty good damage in return. Can't argue with that. Don't trip Will over. So what's the plan? Sneak attacks on that one? Seems good. Because then Karlach can finish this one off. Which will allow Astarion to move on to the next. Mo, 90%. I guess she can put that on because she's got reckless attacks, hasn't she? Because she's a barb. One out of two's okay. Flaming Pete survives all of Will's attacks, sadly. And then Astarion can come over here and deal with Two Toes. Must have had a rough life if he's only got like 2 toes left. That's significantly fewer than you're supposed to have. Blunderbob manages to survive. Okay.
You're sweeter than rum, with twice the spice.
So, fight's pretty much done. Let's just jump straight to Astarion, see what he's gonna do. He's already resonating, perhaps? Fine, I guess we'll hit him with a flurry of blows. There's only one key point used up. Now, child.
I'm fine, Dad.
Yeah, you've had a horribly rough time of it. Your mum sent me though. You should probably head home. Off she goes. What a little tyke. Now, downstairs we go. See what we can't do about Ethel. I feel like there's a way through that wall, but nobody seems to be noticing it. Any switches? Any levers? Anyone? Oh, maybe I was supposed to blow it up rather than... Yeah. I was like, Yeah, I've done it wrong. You're not supposed to bash the barrels. You're supposed to blow them up, and then you get through the wall. But we can't do that now, so we're going to have to go another way.
What's that?
But I guess that's fine. Got the keys to Ethel's lair. Now, we've got Captain Grizzly and her crew just roaming around in there. Now, in here we just got Ethel. This is where the plan hasn't been thought out very well. I'm not sure what my next move is here. Oh, piss, I stood up. I thought I was already stood up because it didn't look like I was down. Now, we need to deal with those mushrooms. But we can fly to them. Okay. It's going to take a while. But we can, in theory, destroy these mushrooms. Now, Mo is not in combat. So what if she flies up here? And sneaks away over here. Still not in combat. Now this area is a bit more well lit, but that's okay. And now she is in combat as well. Okay. That's fine though. And then we've got a third mushroom up there. Astarion has just flown straight into combat, it seems. But maybe that's fine, and we'll... If you're going to get spotted, you may as well just fly right in. Cool, so we're all in combat. We've got no turns left on Karlach, so what are you going to do, Ethel? Also, do you still have your Legendary of Action? Yeah. Weird Magic Surge. Immediately after spells are cast.
Come, darlings. Help Auntie.
Yeah, they get summoned. But we're not too worried about them. No, is that one Ethel? That one might be Ethel. But that's big damage from Mo, so we like that. Astarion hasn't done anything yet. These little guys aren't really going to do much, I don't think. We don't need to keep them alive. So there goes one. And yeah, that is the real Ethel. Good. Where are the other Ethels? I guess they're all invisible. But this one's now got Resonating Key, which is great. Are we able to just push her down a hole? I would assume not. We could just smack her about a bit. It's not really relevant, because we need to deal with the mushrooms. Big smash. Yeah, the mushrooms don't like that. No. Yeah, you're a pawn. You're doing your thing. It's not amazing. Kiss Terror doesn't sound that bad. Ooh, Fist of Unbroken Air though. Could have pushed Astarion down the hole. That would have been unattractive. Thankfully Ethel's passage is invisible, because Nobody wants to see that. Yeah, the mushrooms heal themselves for 100, do they? So we need to gang up on the mushrooms. That's interesting to know. Karlach, would you therefore like to fly over here and help Will with this mushroom? Haste spores. Cool, they're giving you a bit more movement. We like this. Can we sneak attack a mushroom? No. But we can boom it. She's not actually doing a lot of damage to this mushroom. It's kind of sad. So maybe Mo also needs to come over here. Stop mocking people. Horrible Ethel. So, what about Mo? She can fly. She can bounce. She could rage as well, you know. You can't rage for legendary fights, and when can you rage? Bonk. Blam.
It wouldn't be you I'd call.
Okay, so that was good. That was good. We like that. Astarion, you could keep beating up Ethel, but there's not a lot of point. Give her a bash, though. Why not? This bugger, on the other hand, let's get rid of them. And then, shall we work our way towards this mushroom? Yeah, we can't do much with it this turn, I don't think. Now, Will. Poison Cloud. Is that going to affect you? Yeah, because you're not Hero Feasted. Heroes Feasted, so it would. Let's bash this guy about. It's bashing back. Kind of rude. Then let's fly over towards that next mushroom. Psionic Backlash helps us take out the clones at least. That's good. Although the clones are doing nothing anyway. Who gives a damn about Ray of Sickness? I feel like Karlach wasn't doing much to the mushroom. So maybe let's have her do something to this lad instead. Good.
In position.
We want to keep Grizzly alive, but the rest we're not fussed about. Oh god, there's even more of the buggers. But that one is the real one. Oh yeah, I shouldn't be using that on Grizzly. But that's okay. Mo. Yeah, start work on this bugger. That's good damage. Astarion, what can you do against a mushroom? You can't key resonate it probably, but you probably can stunning strike it or something like that. Nice. Second one down. Now the Ethels can do their thing. Karlach can do her dash and fly. Can she reach that one? No. She can fly to there. And she can actually fly up there. Okay. So maybe we can get this one this turn. But it doesn't seem to take a huge amount of damage from Karlach. Although that was not awful damage. Even more Ethels. Some would say too many Ethels. Now Mo, you are way too far away to reach a mushroom this turn, I think. But taking down some Ethels would be nice. And the fact that you keep proccing Call the Weak and therefore doing that one smidgen of extra damage. That was effective. We like that. Astarion, how far can you get to? You can certainly get over there. And you can get over here. Good. We might be done with the mushrooms.
No, not my mushrooms.
Yeah, your mushrooms. Now, it was you that said that, wasn't it? So it sounds like you need some paladin in your life.
Bloody clever clogs.
Get wrecked, Ethel. Look at all that loot she's got. I guess 'cause she was a vendor at one point, wasn't she? The Ring of Feywild Sparks. That's a wild magic thing. Yeah, she was a vendor.
I am ready to rest my weary head.
And we sold her some stuff. I think. That's why she's carrying all this gubbins. We'll take it. Now, Cabin Grizzly.
I've raided warships, fought every beastie the sea can throw at you, and I've never flinched. Not once. But Ethel? Umberlee's tits. She snapped her fingers and had me. I would have died for her. Wanted to. Then you showed up, armed to the teeth. You could have killed me, been right to, but you didn't. You have an old captain's thanks.
Oh, you the thanks. That was a fight worthy of Groomsh.
Yeah, well, Groomsh didn't risk his neck to save me. You did. You're welcome in the Maid, anytime. The old girl is as much your home as she is mine. And I'll gut anyone who says otherwise.
I hope that's a figure of speech or something, and you're not actually planning on murdering people just for having an opinion. Either way, we need to speak to Vanra, probably. Well, not Vanra. We need to speak to Laura, and also Marina.
You brought her back. You brought back my sweet, sweet girl.
Yeah, the hag was my problem to deal with.
It was everything. I'll never forget it. Here. A token from the pirate life I left behind. Thank you for being braver than half this city put together. Everything is going to be all right.
So the Amulet of Windrider.
Mommy. That's...
And the Duelist's
That's right.
Prerogative. Pretty cool weapon, I believe. I've never actually used it. So while your offhand's empty, you score a crit on a 19. On a hit with a melee weapon, you deal additional necrotic damage. Jeweler's Enthusiasm. When you're not dual wielding, you can make an additional melee attack with it. With your bonus action. So there is a possibility we could use that on Will instead of his hammer. And respec him from Great Weapon to Savage Attacker or something like that. But no, we'll stick with Will on his hammer. We like Will's hammer. No, we haven't actually unlocked the front door of this house, so let's go in the only way we know how. Looks like we've lost a crew member once again. Will stuck outside for some reason, so I guess we'll unlock the front door. There we go. Yeah, that guy didn't like that very much. But that's fine. Marina won't mind, I'm sure.
She's dead, isn't she? Ethel is dead.
Yes, she is.
Yes! Fuck you, Ethel, you miserable old bat! Fuck you for telling me I'd be an awful mom. That was nothing but a pregnant half-wit. Oh, and the girl? You saved her too, right?
Of course.
Oh, thank the gods. You hear that, Connor? Ethel is dead. Oh, you didn't change back. You're still a zombie. I thought with Ethel gone. Never mind. I'll find another way to turn you back. Somehow.
He's never going to be human again, Marina. Let him go.
I know. Damn it. I know. Connor. I love you. I've loved you since we were kids. And you picked me bluebells and asked me to the summer fair. But you're gone. And this thing isn't you. Not anymore.
I'm sorry you couldn't save him.
Not everyone can be saved. I learned that lesson from Ethel. I just needed you to remind me. Here. Thank you for killing Ethel. But I'd like you to go now. I'll be fine. I know I'm stronger than this. I just need some time.
Wonderful. The Face Semblance Amulet. Advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. So are we best off giving that to someone who's generally not great at those throws because their stats are pretty abysmal? Maybe. That would suggest Mo. 888 for intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. What is she wearing round her neck? Yeah, the Surgeon Subjugation Amulet. No more. She's now protected against magics of the mind. And now it's time for us to head back to camp, I think. Just want to quickly check before I forget if we can... Oh no, we used our level 6 spell slot on him, didn't we? Yeah, I was going to Hero's Feast Will. I guess we could though, couldn't we? Because we did make Minty into a cleric. So Minty, would you like to cast a Hero's Feast? Would you like to prepare a Hero's Feast? Yeah, you would. And all of these buggers can get buffed. Amazing. Now we're going to replace you with Gale. No, we could potentially have a rest at this point. We don't have anything specific in mind for next time. Might just sit here and play with Scratch for a bit. And then, I guess when you see me again, we'll figure out what we are going to do next. It might still be the Iron Throne and all that gubbins. But I'm not sure. So until next time, thanks for watching, friends.